Question everything, for the truth should not be televised. And that's for sure. So with that, oh man, our great brother, MALCOM X, an unapologetically pro-black brother who was willing to go to bat for us as a people to a point of change for us, you know. And today is 2024. You know, they try not to celebrate Malcolm X's speeches like they do Martin Luther King hijack speeches, because remember, Martin Luther King said that "I Have a Dream" speech was one of the worst speeches he ever done, allegedly. But you can look it up, you know, him speaking on it on YouTube out of his own mouth. He'll tell you. I mean, when he spoke on leading his people to a burning house. But at the end of the day, Malcolm X spoke on a lot of strong things about our people that they don't even put out, you know, where if we had more appointed representatives that spoke like Malcolm X, we wouldn't be in ghettos and slums and hoods without no resources and economic growth, because they would be unapologetically pushing for our people to get the resources that we supposed to have in our community. But instead, they're not unapologetic. They're more on their legacy when it comes to pushing the black and brown community, as if the brown community went through the same thing we went through dealing with this government, which is a sad, sad reality, to show themselves up there in front of those podiums pretending to represent us when they know all hands down that they're not there to represent us from nowhere. They're representing themselves. And y'all know who I'm talking about, because we got many of them. Many of these folks that's running around here, from Jesse to Al to Brandon to Adams, Eric, all these different dudes, man. Ladies as well. And it's sad that none of them stand in the shoes of a Malcolm X when it comes to dealing with our people. That's just what it is. You know, Mel was willing to give his life and his legacy for his own people. The Baracks, all these dudes don't stand in his shoes. They don't even supposed to be in the same picture as this guy, because Malcolm X was about that life. He was about that, our people. You know, and we give, you know, much homage and much respect to him and what he stood for, because we need more like him. Brothers and sisters that's willing to stand for their own people unapologetically, based off of what's being done to our people. We ain't in this boat because of ourselves. We're in this boat because of oppression. We're in this boat because we never been liberated. We're in this boat because we never been separated from our Holocausts. That's why we in this boat. And because we don't look at it like that, this is why we're not moving ahead, and this is why we're not getting ahead, and this is why our majority of our people, especially our men, our warriors, our military, our might, our head of household, our men that supposed to wear the pants, are being locked up, mass incarcerated more than any other nation in the world nowadays, as well as our women. Not to mention the other attack that we're under now with the rainbow and many other things that's going on. You know, but these things, if we had any type of control on our political aspect of things, we would be pushing out more children that become men and women that speak like a Malcolm X, that walks like a Malcolm X when it comes to dealing on the level of what it is to deal with our people. Because that's the reality to it. We wouldn't have such brutality coming from law enforcement and many other different things that is happening to us to this day, because we wouldn't be trying to turn another cheek. To hell with that. Like Melk said, this is that reality, but we don't get to be able to push our political narrative on how we see ourselves, or control and manipulate how we see ourselves through this oppression that we under when it comes to dealing with the greatest criminal empire that ever exists, which is the United States. So with that, we definitely want to give much homage to Melk, much homage to his family, you know, just as much as his grandson, and what happened to his grandson out there in Mexico, out there trying to defend the Afro-Latinos out there in Mexico, and you see what happened to his grandson. You know, terrible, terrible, terrible. But this is the reality, man. You know, we need more men and women with bigger backbones who's willing to stand up and be unapologetic for their own people and speak the truth. Stop trying to speak this program lie that we're living an equality and an equal life. You can't be in an equal life when you started a race 400 years behind another nation of people that took everything from you. You can't be free or liberated when you not separated from the people that committed genocide, massacre, and Holocaust on you. You can't get handed down to their inheritors and then talk about everything is kumbaya. That's just out of your mind. Literally, just totally lost mentally when it comes to what's really going on. Because at the end of the day, freedom is liberation. Liberation is separation. Back to your own nation, back to your own government, back to your own land, back to your own understanding of building up who you are after what has been done to you, healing the trauma that you've been through, understanding the destruction that you had to endure in order to grow from that destruction to be a greater people. And we haven't had no time in history in the last 600 years to be able to do that. And in turn, our people are self-medicating. Our people are demonizing themselves, got anti-black hatred for themselves, self-destruction, and many other things that is being pushed on them, as well as being internalized based off of not being able to reflect and deal with the real reality of what has been done to us and still being done to us to this day, keeping us locked down in ghetto slums and hood, and perpetual poverty that been pushed upon us based off of hatred, prejudice, and many different destructions that came our way through race riots and massacres. So with that, we honor Malcolm X for his sacrifice. We honor Malcolm X for his strength. We honor Malcolm X for his diligent work to bring much truth to his people, because at the end of the day, he did a glorious job when it comes to his time when he was here with us, pushing that narrative of us being self-empowered to protect and deal with ourselves as a people, understanding that our plight is still at hand when it comes to not being liberated from the oppressors that have oppressed and Holocaust our people. And with that, thank you, Malcolm X. Thank you for all that you have done. May you rest in power, my great brother. May your family stand in strength while they're still here on this earth. And with that, I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. But that is the question. You let me know. Praise, praise.